sitting there and, okay, I'm happy with that. Well, what? The screen works. Welcome everybody to the first event for Pegasus pilots for the fall semester. We're glad to have you here. Show of hands, who's new? Come on, don't be shy. Dude, okay, I'm happy with that. So we're gonna get right into business and talk about us. We're gonna be briefly giving it over to one of our two guest speakers tonight, Mr. Ron Hull from the Valiant Air Command Museum. We'll be talking for a little bit longer about what we do. While we talk and while we yap for a little bit, please, you know what to do, you've been trained for this. Pull out your phone, whip that thing out, scan the QR code for the attendance, just fill it out. What is it? You made this, right?
Yes, so this is an attendance form, and it also has some information regarding what you guys want to see from us later in the semester, next semester, future years.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just basically stand here awkwardly and stare at everyone with my commanding presence until you all look up at me with your beautiful eyes. And I can make sure we're done. They're all a bunch of slaves. They do what I tell them to. Tonight's agenda, we talked about doing the officer introduction, because you should probably know who we are. We'll talk about the Valiant Air Command Museum, go over any relevant RSO updates, and then we'll be giving it over to our guest speaker for their presentation. And I'm sure you guys saw that we're doing a giveaway tonight for a free hang glider ride. I still don't know how we're doing this, but we are. A free hang glider ride, which I think is absolutely fantastic because we're actually getting somebody in the air, which I think is wonderful. But first, next slide, please, so we can introduce the officers of Pegasus pilots. All my blue shirt people, my Smurfs, get up here. Let's Josh, I swear to God, if you do not, it's not a free country anymore. Get up here. Okay. I'll pass this around because if you missed the meeting, we'll be uploading this onto YouTube. But if we haven't met one-on-one yet, I hope we do. My name's Andrew. I'm the president of Pegasus Pilots.
Hey guys, I'm Amit. I am the vice president of Pegasus Pilots.
Hi, I'm Jovan. I'm the secretary of Pegasus Pilots.
Hello, I'm Lance. I'm the workshop director.
Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm the auxiliary director.
Howdy, folks. My name's Josh. For better or worse, I am the media director.
Hello, everyone. Is this working?
It is working.
Okay. My name is Waleed, and I'm the treasurer of Pegasus Pilots.
Cool. I hope you remember that because there will be a I'm kidding, there's no pop quiz on that. But it's helpful to know the names of everybody in the group, and you'll find that once we get events going, I saw a lot of new hands up here, but I do see some familiar faces. Paulo, welcome back. Volunteer with us at Sun and Fun. Good to see you again, Bree. You made it. Do we have any recurring? Oh, I see a face back there. Hello. See, we don't scare everybody away. Some of them come back for more torture. Isn't that right? So anyways, you guys can be seated, by the way. Sorry. They do exactly what I tell them to. It's my fault for not telling them to take a seat. Anyways, it's good to see some new faces and some familiar faces. These are the faces that you'll be seeing at all of our socials, GBMs, events. We won't be there for every exact little event, but hopefully you'll get to talk to us one-on-one, ask some questions. Everybody's got a story, everyone's got a journey, and you'll be able to network and learn by talking to people. That's the whole point of doing stuff like this. So anyways, go to the next slide, please. We'll be passing it along to our first guest speaker of the night for about 5-7 minutes, Mr. Ron Hull from the Valiant Air Command Museum. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's all yours.
I'm Ron Hull, and I was hoping to get 8 minutes out of you anyway. Again, not enough. So, as you all see, I gave everybody a card. If you don't have one, they'll be up at the desk. That light's killing me. On the back tells you how to volunteer. It says restoration, docents, simulators, and facilities. I also have special events in the library. So go online, fill out the card, or fill out the application. I receive it, and then I'll be calling you, and I'll be saying, "Hello there. What can you really do?" And I decide where I can put you. I also gave another card to you, and it has a handy dandy $2 off coupon for adults. If you're a child, I don't know. So we're looking for people to come in and volunteer with us in any part of the museum. If you want to get your hands dirty, I'll put you in restoration or in facilities. Facilities involves moving the airplanes around, taking care of the buildings and the grounds. And of course, restoration is taking care of the planes. You can be a docent like myself on Thursday and Sunday, take people around and teach them about the airplanes. Not in depth, but just the overview so they get the idea what the war planes are all about. We have planes from before World War I. Goes back to 1907, actually. all the way up until the HC-53 we just got in, which is the biggest helicopter the Navy has. We have your next speaker would be a Top Gun speaker. We have some Top Gun personnel on staff that work with me and provides a little bit of insight to the museum. So anyway, what I'm here for is to ask you if you would like to come in and volunteer with us. It's a non-paying position. That's why I call it volunteer. But you'll find some enjoyment. You'll find that you have camaraderie here, but you're going to have camaraderie with older people. I guess I'm one of them now. And so, it's an amazing opportunity for you, and it's even a better opportunity for me. Anybody have any questions for me?
I will take that as no questions. But we're not done talking about it just yet. But before we do that, round of applause, please, for our first guest speaker tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. He came all the way out here just to give a little speech. We do have a couple more slides about the VAC. I'd like to invite our media director, Josh, up for just a few more slides, because I think out of any of our members, he has volunteered the most at the VAC. Josh, you want to say something? Don't say anything stupid, I swear to God. If you please say something intelligent for once. Talk about the VAC and the work that you've done.
I was going to give you guys a 5-hour lecture on gerrymandering, but I guess I can't now.
No, you can't.
So howdy, folks. My name is Josh Heithaus. Thank you so much to Ron for coming all the way from Brevard County, Florida, which is about 50 minutes in the torrential downpour and lovely traffic that we all have to deal with every day. But I wanted to talk a little more about the Warbird Museum, because I've been volunteering there for about 2 years, and I've done almost everything there. Is there a ghost in here? Okay. The skeletons in my closet following me around. But basically, this museum is about 40 minutes away, and it's a new activity we want to bring to all of you starting this semester. Group volunteering. I go there once a week, and I currently work on that bad girl right there. It is a C-47 that flew in World War II and still flies today. I do mechanic work on it. But if you are interested in, say, doing restoration, that's a 1950s jet trainer that I helped restore, or if you're interested in telling people about it, or if you're a pilot, if you want to take people up in a full cockpit sim, it's a really cool opportunity. There's a lot of really cool stuff there, and it's just an opportunity I wanted to extend to all of you, because the more folks we get over there, the better it is for both of us. It's a really, really great place. I'm going to try and speed it up here to not ramble, but if you go to the next slide, it's 40 minutes away, as Ron said. You got airplanes from World War I to now. You can volunteer in a whole bunch of stuff. And Alex and I are already volunteering. I just put it up on Discord today. If you guys go to the next slide, if you go over to the channels and roles section and choose VAC, you'll get access to it so we don't spam you relentlessly about when we're doing it. But if you're interested in just checking it out, click that button or just shoot me a DM. It's really cool. If you ever want to see a World War II plane fly, that's stuff to do. Or if you want to work on planes that are probably older than your parents, also a great opportunity. But I guess we'll go on to something more interesting. But thank you all very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. Okay, so it's a solid. We're clapping for everybody. Great. So now we're going to talk about workshops. GBMs are great, but we also don't like giving everybody death by PowerPoint. I certainly don't. So to make the club and what we do more engaging, more useful, we're going to actually offer things that are more practical, because I hate to break it to you, but the FAA doesn't give you a thumbs up or a stamp for like 50 PowerPoints. I asked them, they don't. So we are fortunate enough to work with a flight instructor this semester who you will get to meet later today, but we are offering workshops this semester. So you don't need to go through every single thing, right, for your ground school with a flight instructor, but things that are more difficult, like flight planning or sectional charts or communication or a good portion of flying, truth be told, that's good to be done in person. So our plan for roughly what we want to do as a group is about 1 GBM, 1 social, 1 workshop, and possibly a facility tour a month, roughly. weather permitting, no hurricanes and all the good stuff. So that's the rough plan. That's the outline for our workshop schedule. The big, if there's one thing I want you to remember from tonight, how about this? Exactly 1 week from tonight, in this exact room, same place and time, we'll be hosting our first workshop for the semester. If there's one thing you remember and walk away from with this meeting tonight, I hope it's that. Okay, so again, we'll be going into those details further. You can go to the next slide, please. Air shows and socials, I'll pass it to our vice president so he can get some airtime and tell you about some of our upcoming events with that. Amit, it's all yours.
Hey guys, so one thing we're trying to get more into is attending more air shows, not just Sun and Fun. So there is the Orlando Sanford Air Show on October 25th and 26th, which we will be attending. And I believe it's our third social will be after the October 25th show. We'll find a place, that'll be TBD, we'll post it on the Instagram and Discord. Our second social is on September 26th, and we haven't decided a venue, we're throwing around some ideas. If you guys have any, you can always put it in the Discord, but we're thinking of Blaze right now, but if you have anything, just let us know. Next slide.
You want me to take this one?
Yeah.
I probably know more about this than you might, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. So anyways, this is something that's a little bit more limited. We will always be honest and upfront and not make any promises that we can't keep. We're not going to come up here and say, oh yeah, everybody can. We can't do that. I'm sorry. Waleed, you're over there. He's the one who set this up. Shout out to Waleed. He's very, very a go-getter and works very hard for us. We love you, Waleed. Thank you. He was able to set this up. This is a tower tour at the Orlando International Airport. The first one that we're doing, but certainly not the last. And this is a limited capacity event, only 12 people total. You have to be U.S. citizens. I'm going to be so honest with you. I know how they're going to check that, but that's what they told us. We have to tell you. And we're going to have about 2 to 3 officers present. The reason being that we want to show up all at once. We're going to look like a circus if we show up at different staggered times. So the officers will just drive the car. We're going to carpool, get over there. And internally, I can tell you that we already have 2 people that are going to this so far. The rest is undecided and open. Here's the deal with this club, folks. You'll see a little bit later in the slides. We're trying to incentivize and encourage your attendance and your involvement here within the community at Pegasus Pilots. But I'm going to take a quick detour and talk about 2 of the people who happen to be in this room. And there is a trend with that. Who are going? Bree, you're over there. Hi. And Paulo, you're over there. Dude, there's something you 2 have in common. I don't know what it was. Did you guys do something for us in the spring semester? What was it? There was some event.
Yeah, we went to a small event, very niche.
Small event? What's it called? What's it called?
Sun and Fun.
Sun and Fun. Yeah, I've heard of that thing. You went there? Sun and Fun. You volunteered with us, right? And you got us some money, not boogers. Money. We love money. We love money. We love getting money. We love the bag. So, the point is, we have activities, we have things we do. And guess what? We try to reward you for doing such things. So the rest of that, we'll see where it goes. We'll post more information about the tower tour, but it's out there. We're just throwing it out there and showing you concrete proof like, hey, we got something to offer you.
Do you think I can just add something?
Go for it. Say it.
Okay, so for this event, it's going to be September 25th, and we're going to have to be there at 11 a.m. As Andrew said, since 3 officers are going, we're going to use our vehicles, and we're going to be providing all the transportation. If you're interested in this event with the limited spots that are available, after the GBM ends, you can talk to me in the back, because we are filling the names from now. So if that's something you're interested in, you can talk to me. I'll be in the back. Just wanted to add that.
Awesome. Thank you, Waleed. All right, go to the next slide for me. This isn't like anything that we're going to talk 5 minutes for, but we're just throwing it out there. We have other things that we're working on. This is one of them. I don't know how expensive this was, to be honest with you, but knowing aviation, it's probably not cheap. We can't buy this with food stamps, unfortunately, but we have been given this loaned to us by Metal. That's the Mixed Emerging Technologies and Integration Lab. Oof, I remembered it. Here at UCF, they're the ones who loaned this to us, and we're getting it put together and finalized. We did like a trial run. We got people to go on it, but the plan in the future is to use this at outreach events and to use this so you guys can have some fun on it, because it's also just fun, right? Have fun with what you're doing, right? So go to the next slide, please. All right, Flight School Partnership. This is like the biggest one that when we started Pegasus Pilots, we had tried to start and work with. Here's the thing I'll say up front to you guys. Look, if you can't afford flight training, we'll be up front with you. This is not going to help you. I'm sorry. Like whatever discount's going to be offered won't help you. We're just going to be real with you like that. The thing is, anything that helps you in any way, shape, form, or capacity is a win to us. Any slight weight off your shoulders, that's a W to us. Like that's just how we approach it. So if we can save you $10 per flight hour, yeah, we're going to do that. We're not going to say, nah, you can keep the money. We're going to try to save you some money, try to help you out. That's the deal. So we already do have a partnership with the school out of Orlando Executive. That's where I do most of my flying at right now. And then the flight instructor who will be going up a little bit later to talk about his flying and where he teaches out of Sanford. That's another school, in case you haven't noticed. That's another school we're trying to work with and partner with and offer. But there's an example of what that looks like. The normal wet rate for that Cessna is $165 an hour, but we get a $10 an hour discount. So that comes out to $155. So yeah, $10 an hour, not much, but when you add up the minimum required flight hours throughout all of your training, that will add up and that will help you hopefully. So anyway, that's all I got to say as far as the flight school discounts are concerned. This semester, do you want to talk about this a minute? You seem like you know what you're doing. I'll pass it back to you.
All right, guys, so I'm back. So this is our busiest semester yet. Last semester in the spring, we had 9 events. This semester, we had 14 total. So we have 12 more to go. Those range from GBMs, socials, air shows, workshops, etc. We have events roughly like on a bi-weekly basis. And as Andrew noted, our next one's going to be on the 16th, which is the workshop led by Mason. So make sure to check out our Instagram. We're going to post an event schedule, so you'll be notified of that. And always, it's going to be always in the Discord as well. So, but yeah, we're excited for all of it, and we can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, so it's been mentioned a few times, but next Tuesday we will have our first workshop of the semester, which you might have seen up there is the risk mitigation. So a big motto of our club, kind of to step back a little bit, is to provide access to aviation for everybody. I have no flight experience, but I'm interested in getting involved. So if you're like me, who has no flight experience, these workshops will definitely help you learn a little bit along the way if you are interested in eventually getting your pilot's license. So we'll have tips and tricks for newbies like me, and tips and tricks for people who are very well versed in flying, like some of our officers and Mason, who is our ground instructor. So hopefully we'll broaden the range of information that we can share with all of you, so that it can be as encompassing as possible. So all of this information will be sent out later for your later review. But yes, so we have a lot of fun activities planned for the semester.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lance. Wow, I wonder who made that slide. Josh, you know who did that? Josh, wherever he is. Anyways, Josh made that slide in case you could not tell. We're going to be passing it off to our secretary, Jovan, so he has some airtime as well, so he can say some wonderful things.
What's up, everybody? So just to start off, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you would give me $20 right now just for asking? Raise your hand. That's fine. I want to give myself 20 either. Right? But similarly, a lot of people are here for the first time. You know, you guys are exploring the club, figuring it out. You know, you might want to be here, you might not. You gotta figure it out. You gotta find out, right? So, dues, no dues. We're not having dues. Thank God. You know, you guys can eat this week.
Did he put this music in here? Oh my God! Wait! Did that just start? Wait! Oh my God! We don't know this, by the way. He just put this in here. Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Congratulations. No dues. Everything our club is going to be doing is operating off a freemium model.
Okay. I'm trying to play. There we go. We got it.
So basically what the freemium model is it allows you guys to get involved at no direct cost to any of you. So for instance, all events are free to attend. That means our workshops and our GBMs. And you know, a little event here and there, right? That's great. But of course, you know, we need money. We got to fund things, you know. Student government doesn't like us. So the way you guys, if you would like to help us, you can buy merchandise. We can, you know, we have flight tags, shirts, and maybe a hat coming soon. We don't know yet. We don't know. But we also get partnership funds from flight schools, you know, flying clubs, and other aviation-related things. So that's how we fund the club, and that comes all the way back to you guys, allowing us to make it free for everyone involved.
If I may peek my head out from the table, say one quick thing. Again, like I said before, the big bottom line with what we're trying to do and what we're pushing so hard for is building that consistent community of people who show up. We believe that by doing this model, it incentivizes us as an executive board to do the best possible job that we can and to just make it a little bit easier for you to show up. That's it. You want to cover the next slide, Jovan? I'll pass it to you if you'd like.
Shirts. You know, who doesn't like some merch, right? So $23 per card, 22 for cash, gives you these beautiful cotton, 100% children made in Vietnam shirts.
Thank you, Jovan. Okay. Child labor, huh? Good.
Who doesn't love child labor, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it comes in 2 great colors. Navy gray or army green, you know, it's awesome. Right? Helps us, supports the club, you know, advertise get our cloud out around UCF. And yeah, look into it. We got some that will be available after the club, or you can get it later on, but they will go out fast,
So yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll keep this slide up here for people who want to take a picture and fill this out. This is just the basic info for getting the shirts. This is like the most important slide because it brings us some moolah, so I'm not going to stand in front of it. Hey, this is, take a picture of that if you want to fill it out, get it taken care of. We have a box of shirts that we owe to some people from the past, so we can't just sell these out per se. So the plan is that we have people fulfill their orders for their shirts tonight at the GBM. In future events, our plan is to distribute the shirts. However, we also believe that if you're paying for something, you should also make sure it's like legit. So where did the box go? Please don't tell me someone stole it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, thank God. That was like a lot of money. The box of shirts is right there if you want to fill it for yourself, maybe even try it on, who knows. So we'll leave that there and we will distribute those shirts at future events throughout the semester. I'll be taking on to the next slide and I'll be passing it along to Alex, who is our auxiliary director. Alex, all yours.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm just going to talk really quick about some of our promotional items we're going to be giving out this semester. The first one we'll be handing out here is these flight tags. We actually just got our funding approved by student government. That's going to allow us to give it out for completely free. We're going to put in the order soon, so we're hoping within the next few weeks we will have these out to give to you guys. I'm not sure what meeting we'll have it out ready for, but it'll be soon. And then this one right here is in the up on the drawing board right now. This is the design for some computer stickers we're going to make, also completely free. But this should be out before the end of the semester.
Cool.
Next one.
One more slide.
And then tailgate. UCF is going to be having, Pegasus Pilots will be having our first tailgate September 20th against UNC. It will be BYOB, and we're going to be, I see right here in the drawing, we're going to try and have it somewhere in this area. I'm the one who has to make the reservation, and it's going to be right next to all the other engineering RSOs, and also the Latin frats are over there, the Latin clubs, I meant, and they're going to be playing loud music, so it'll be a good time. I don't know if any of you guys have been to a tailgate before, but I personally think that's the best area, so if you guys are in the area, stop by and socialize. It'll be a good time.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. I'll be
There you
taking it back for you. I think we've had almost everything done, and we'll be wrapping up here in like the next 5 to 6 minutes with our part. So if you're getting tired of us, don't worry. We'll be making a transition very, very soon. But something important on the next slide I would like to now talk about is our CFI for the semester. Everyone, give a round of applause, please, for Mr. Mason Porter.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Thanks for showing up today. Good numbers today. So as you see, I'm a CFI based out of Sanford Airport with the Orlando Sanford Flying Club. It is probably one of the best clubs out there, in my opinion, and it's part of the discount that we were talking about earlier. When you buy a shirt, you'll get access to the discount for the club. We don't have the details fully sorted out yet, but the membership dues for that club likely will be cut in half for students who are going to be joining that. If you want to reach out to me to talk about flight training, I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. And if you want to move on to the next slide, we'll talk about that.
Well, before we get to the next slide, because Mason, you and I are on the phone today,
Yeah.
just sorted this out.
Yep.
It's something we've been working for a long, long time, so we're not just going to do a regular transition. I hope everyone knows what to do. When they see this, come on, you know what to do. Finally, we have a ground school, thank God.
Yep.
Mason, tell them
We're
about
proud to announce a partnership with Gold Seal Ground School, one of my favorite ground schools personally because they do everything right. So it is a pass or pay guarantee by the Gold Seal, 90-day money-back guarantee, interactive content. It supports us Pegasus pilots through your purchasing of it. We get a kickback from that. And it provides your endorsement for your written exam for your private, instrument, and commercial. And it offers a Part 107 drone operator license if you wanted to do that too. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mason. Is Josh in the room, by the way?
No, he's walking back though.
Hey Josh, if you're watching this, I need you to edit out the last 30 seconds. That was embarrassing as hell. Okay, anyways, so we're going to, before we get to the next slide, that's all that we have as far as what announcements we have to make, but we'll be sticking around after the meeting is over, after our next guest speaker goes up. He'll be sticking around for just a little bit to answer questions, talk to you guys, just as we will be. So if you have any questions, please talk to us, talk to Mason, talk to whoever. So getting to the giveaway, because this is the important part, that was good timing. Yeah, you should have let it play. That would have been good timing. We're going to have our guest speaker come up. We're going to have him do a brief introduction. And before we do the official transition to our guest speaker's presentation, he will actually be helping us conduct the chosen winner of the giveaway. Once the chosen winner for the giveaway is done, and it will be somebody whose butt is planted in their seat right now in this room, then we'll be going to your presentation. So if you'd like to go to the next slide, everyone give a round of applause for our guest speaker for today, retired Lieutenant Colonel John Pylant, call sign Gomer. So if you'd like to briefly introduce yourself, and then after that we'll have...
No, should I give a hint? I don't know. What do you think? 35? Close. Right now. 36? No. Way in the back. 38? No.
31.
No, you're close.
33.
Yes! That's all.
Who, you got it? Yeah. You got it? What's up, man? What's your name?
Franklin.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
You want to get in the air?
For sure.
Everyone give a round of applause. So winner for the giveaway tonight. You're going to go 3,500 feet in the air. All right. Beautiful work. Thank you, sir.
A quick trip to through infantry training and on to flight school in Pensacola. As a Marine backseater, a naval flight officer, or a WIZO, I selected for F-18s. And one of my first squadrons was the Bengals here. I was very excited about being in F-18s. Well, not just 10 years after the movie came out, in 1996, not 86, I found myself at Top Gun itself. And here's something. There's nobody that looks like Kelly McGillis there. And that Top Gun trophy thing, that is bullshit right there. There was no such thing. It was not in there. But there I was. I got a chance to go to like the black belt course of all fighter aviation, and they loaded me up with all kinds of knowledge that I was able to take back to my squadron. And it's a very proud moment. That crew of guys right there was a fantastic bunch. But we go on beyond that. That was just the beginning. They were starting to train us. Next slide. Okay, 2001 comes around, 9/11, which is the anniversary of which is this Thursday. Okay, so we never forget that. Terrible time. When those planes hit the Twin Towers, I was on deployment in Australia, flying with the F-18 squadron, and man, that just makes you angry. You know, you're so far removed from this terrible event, and we were ready to go out and like go break some shit out there, okay? So we were very angry for that. But 2001 led to events leading to 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom. I was deployed to the country of Kuwait and flying missions for the very first day and the first 3 months. Very exciting flying out there, flying the old F-18 there. My buddy Chad Boyle's there. We're about to go downtown and do some work. Okay, so 2003, fast forward through that. At the time, I was an instructor at the Marine Corps' version of Top Gun called Marine Aviation Weapons and Tactics Squadron 1, or MOTS 1, out of Yuma, Arizona. Great tour, and now it's time for me to take command of something, either a F-18 squadron. The Marine Corps threw me a curveball. They're like, we're gonna give you a charge of an air base. So Marine Corps Air Station, Beaufort, South Carolina, they're like, we need you to run this whole air base, home to 7 fighter squadrons, air traffic control, fuels, PMO, explosive ordnance disposal, and 27 other functions to run a base 24/7, 365. Air traffic controllers don't get a day off. They're always running it. So I was the commanding officer for H&HS Beaufort, the Swan Foxes. Next slide. I retired in 2012 and immediately came to Orlando. My job here was to work for Lockheed Martin as a contractor. My job was to create the pilot training syllabus for 3 countries that are buying the F-35. South Korea, Japan, and Israel. And some of those, as you know, those things are being used even today. So the F-35 project I was on down here at Lake Underhill at Lockheed Martin for 2 years. We delivered on that contract. And then the contract ended. Welcome to the life of a contractor. Next slide. 10 days after they said, thanks fellas, great product, I found myself in Uganda, Africa, flying King Air 300s and 350s, chasing down Al-Qaeda, all kinds of narco traffickers and African warlords, flying this airplane. So we flew King Air 300s and 350s. I was a right seat qualified, but also a sensor operator in the back. It's a very odd, ugly looking airplane, but it has a lot of functionality too. We won't go into that as much, but my two favorite cover stories when people would ask us, what is this airplane that you've landed and we've got to go inspect this? I'm like, oh, no, not so much. You're not going to be going inside that. We told people that this tub at the bottom was actually a hot tub for some of our very rich customers. And we would fill that thing up with water and they would come and we had a satellite dish and they could watch their favorite TV shows while but the best cover story I came up with is, we work for the World Health Organization and we're collecting mosquito samples. And as we fly low over the trees, we open up this hatch and suck in the mosquitoes and we can analyze them for malaria in real time. They're like, oh wow, that's fascinating. They have no idea what that plane was all about. But we work for Special Operations Command in Africa, working for various agencies. Okay, so I did that for 2 years. Dangerous job, great money, and then I was like, it's time to grow up and get a real job. So next slide. Currently, and this is my 10th year of teaching in high school, I'm a JROTC instructor for a Navy unit out in Groveland, Florida, Claremont area. If you've ever been to Claremont, you know the Citrus Tower out there. It's an icon, beautiful country, very hilly. And last year, here's the pictures of the battalion. So we have about 140 cadets. And I've been teaching JROTC. JROTC of yesteryear is irrelevant, I hate to tell you. So we had to juice it up just a little bit. Next slide. This is currently the aviation program that we have put together in high school, on site, dual enrollment that you don't have to leave campus for, which is a huge benefit for high school students. We teach aeronautical science. We teach unmanned aviation systems, which leads to a Part 107 qualification, all of which we pay for. Another class we teach is private pilot ground school. As you know, if you get that ground school exam done, you're about a third of the way to your private pilot exam. Again, we teach it. You get 5 college credits. You get the test done and you're on your way to flying. And the most recent addition, just this year, we started a small UAS or drone maintenance course. We teach you how to fix them, build them, circuit analysis. It's the whole kit. So if you fly them, you're going to break them, you need to know how to fix it. So drones, private pilot, and now maintenance. And that is on the free meal program, okay? Just like you said a while ago, it's free, no cost to students, and they really get a jump start on aviation. So that's, we're starting to turn our eyes toward younger and younger generations. Back before college, in high school, and even middle school now, we're trying to generate the interest that will lead to students just like you who are on fire for aviation, okay? So we're working hard to do that. Next slide. We have 17 flight simulators in classroom. Okay, including the Redbird, Glime, and we have Prepared 3D for our training. Those are our laboratories. And then our drone program, we're operating 8 Skydios and a couple of paired Anafis. So we every Friday is a fly day, whether it's drones or in the sims. Okay, next slide. All right, highlights of the past year. We certified Part 107's private pilot. I had one student who made it all the way through and got his check ride for private pilot. Various projects, a lot of college credits earned for Embry-Riddle. I don't think I mentioned that, but I teach for Embry-Riddle. Internships and the new maintenance course. So a little bit of highlights of 2025. Okay, next slide. Okay, now we get into the back and forth. There's a snapshot of where I've been, what I'm doing now currently. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Okay, yes, go ahead.
So first of all, I want to say very impressive career. We're very glad to have you here. I don't know what that is. Market instructions. Anyways, are they throwing something right now? My question is, I'm sure you've been with, a lot of pilots. You've seen a lot of applicants. In your experience, what are the qualities that make a pilot a great one?
I tell you, the aviation. If you want to be a pilot, it is a long, grueling, often intimidating process, but it is so worth it, okay? To build up 1,500 hours, you're going from qual to qual, private to instrument to, commercial, those things, and that seems like a long path, but if you have the endurance and the desire, and that is what you're going to do, and you're not going to give yourself an exit strategy, you got your eyes fixed on that, just the perseverance. Keep showing up, keep trying, and keep after it, and you'll get there. Okay, so above any talent that you might think you have, it's about dogged perseverance that's going to get you there, and that's what good pilots they'll do. There's old pilots and there's bold pilots, right? But few old, bold pilots. So those types of things in maturity. All right, great question. Yes, sir.
Is there any way I can go back in time to high school? Because I'm about dang jealous of these high schoolers getting on.
I have teachers at the high school asking if they could take my courses. I'm like, no, that's just for the kids. It's great. But I appreciate that. And our program's uncommon a little bit. We're sort of out there on the edge a little bit. But JROTC of yesteryear is irrelevant. If it's got to be more than marching around in a uniform and all that. Providing vocational certifications and college credits and igniting that interest in aviation. Right now, all the airlines out there are buying airplanes for which there are not pilots in the pipeline to fly them, okay? They don't have enough pilots. There's not enough people in training right now to fill all the seats that are out there. That's a huge problem. Okay, so, and when you fly, you break them. We also need just as many maintainers to be out there, turning wrenches and fixing these high-tech airplanes out there. So the industry is wide open, and I appreciate that. Any other questions? Yeah.
How long do you think the pilot shortage will be going on?
It looks like it's going to go on for decades. And so to address that shortage, we are going back to elementary and secondary schools, trying to get people interested in that pipeline. The money should be enough, but just to ignite the interest and the fire for it. So if you get into this industry, you have a job for life. I am telling you, you have got it made. They're going to hold on to you and keep you. My son is a perfect example of that. He's flying his tail off. They can't get enough pilots in there. So you guys, all of you have learned a secret. You're in the right place to launch a very successful, lucrative lifestyle. Okay? Good question.
Could you talk about your school as a whole?
Which school?
The school you teach at, the high school.
Oh, the high school?
Yeah.
Picture rural Florida, mullets and baseball caps and boots and a lot of FFA there, but the student body is hungry for something extra. Okay, so it's a free lunch school type of thing. It's nothing special, but you inspire them and they want to launch out of there. Yeah. So yeah, it's public school. Charter schools are taking all the good kids out. So it's good. In the back.
I'm just curious, you mentioned that you were a student and taught at Top Gun, and you also taught at the Marine Corps. What were the main differences that you saw between the two of those?
So Naval Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun, Navy, they focus on carrier aviation, protection of the battlefield, and some strike, how to go in there. The Marine Corps version of Top Gun, Mach 1, takes all of that and they integrate into what the Marine Corps does, which is support of the ground units, the combination of fires, artilleries, helicopters, and that type of thing. And I'll tell you, that was instrumental in doing what we did in 2003. So it's more Top Gun as part of the Marine Corps ground machine, I would say. Yeah, good question. Yeah.
I'm wondering, when it comes to military aviation, what do they look for the most in their pilots in terms of like character and achievements and such?
Fearlessness, okay? The ability to take criticism, confidence, okay? Working hard, a lot of humility. Okay, so if you've got those things, or you're a serious professional, there's going to be a spot for you. I had somebody ask me about, about becoming an astronaut. I've known several astronauts. My bunkmate in OIF in Kuwait. We're sitting in the sand on our cots. Randy Bresnik, Comrade was his call sign. And we're sitting there talking, like in between flights and whatnot. I was like, Randy, what do you want to do when you get back? He's like, yeah, I think I want to be an astronaut. And I was like, are you crazy? You're not going to be an astronaut. Well, he did. Colonel Randy Bresnik was a space station captain for some amount of time. And then another one of my mentors farther back, if you're into the Space Coast, is General Charlie Bolden, if you know that name. Bolden, he was the director of NASA for a couple years. Well, he's also a Marine general and an F-18 pilot, and I got a chance to fly with him and get to know him and his son, who was one of my peers. But, you know, the path to astronaut is get in, be an engineer or a pilot, be a good one, get selected for test pilot school, be a good test pilot, make your applications for the astronaut program, and keep going. So I want to talk a little bit about government versus private industry and how the space industry is really changing, because that's a trend I see. Go ahead.
What do you teach at Embry-Riddle?
What do I teach?
Yeah.
Those things, aeronautical engineering, unmanned aviation, private pilot ground school. Those are the three that we teach primarily. Yep. So, yes.
What was your call sign and how did you get it?
My call sign's Gomer, and it's a play on a sitcom from the 70s, Gomer Pyle USMC. I guess I favor the actor a little bit, and I'm a hick from Tennessee, so that kind of goes in with that call sign. But it was the one, it's the only one I've ever had. Call signs are given to you and usually don't like them. It's usually due to some physical defect you have or something dumb that you do, like blow out both your tires on a landing. You're called Bam Bam or something like that. You know, it's like, there's great compilations of call signs and how they got them. So yeah, good question. Anything else? Yeah.
For people looking to get their pilot's license, what would you say is the biggest barrier to entry?
The biggest barrier to entry is you not picturing yourself doing it, okay? If you can see yourself in the seat and that's your desire, the biggest barrier is the confidence to take a step forward and do that. The second biggest barrier is money. You know, you see like a wet Cessna for an hour or whatever, 165 or whatever. It is expensive to fly. You know, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree to be a commercial pilot. Did you know that? I don't want to tell you that. But you don't really. And some people look back and say, why did I go to college? I spent all that money, when really what I wanted to be was a commercial pilot. I could have put all that into my training. Training from nothing to ATP, which is the top rung qual, these days is about $80,000, okay, roughly. So you guys know the nuts and bolts of it. It's worth it. You will be able to pay that back in just a few years' time. It's a great investment in yourself, okay? So have a dream, step out, make progress, even slow progress. Take in a flight, work a while, take a flight, work a while, take a flight. Just start working down that way, and eventually you will be able to dive in with both feet and do it. It's a great question. What else? Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a quick question, because now I'm kind of getting scared. Okay, so because I know you need a bachelor's degree to commission. I'm looking to try, hopefully, end goal, on my way towards IATP, flying F-15 for the Air Guard. I would like to do that.
Great.
And would a mechanical engineering, like how beneficial would it be to have a mechanical engineering degree?
It'd be great, but as many pilots that are not are English majors or political science majors. There is no connection whatsoever with your bachelor's degree with becoming the best F-15 pilot ever, okay? All right, so Marines, hey, we are crayon-eating, knuckle-dragging cretins. My major was general science, okay? Which a lot of science was good for aviation, but it took me a while to understand there's no connection with your bachelor's degree name and what job you are favored for or anything like that. So flight school, fighter, that type of thing is about performance in the plane.
So not at all, it has no relevancy.
Nope.
I talked to a captain from ROTC, like an active duty captain from ROTC at UF, and he said they prefer math and engineering degrees.
I mean, if you have a math and engineering degree, you certainly have the capacity to take on board the knowledge load there, but there really is no connection. I will say this though, the military, Air Force, and also the Navy, those militaries are following this trend. Before you go to military flight school, even the very beginning, they send you to get your private pilots first. That is kind of new. So getting your private pilots as soon as possible, that is a selection criteria. If you've got that in your bag already, then they're like, yeah, come on aboard. If you got your private pilots, then you've got the capacity to do this. So this is a new trend. They'll send you to Randolph, you get your private pilots, not military, and when on completion of that, then you check into military flight school. That's a new thing. Yep. What?
I want to add to that. The best degree to get is a degree that's not aviation related. Something that you can fall back on if flying doesn't work out. So what you want to do if flying doesn't work out, basically. Easiest way.
Yeah. It's good. Okay, and, Andrew, you got a question?
You want to go first? I want to go last.
Yes, go ahead.
So going off of what you just said, the new trend of them sending us to get private pilot's license, what should we be doing to prepare for that if they're already going to do that for us? Like, are there other things we could be preparing for?
You know, these clubs, these activities that you have planned are like spot on. So jump into the club, all the things that they offer here, this is fantastic. Take that first step. Go through private pilot ground school, okay? Get yourself ready to start, flying with an on-wing instructor and just, see if this is what you want to do. That's what you can do. Take a discovery flight if you've never flown before. That's what set the hook for my son, taking a discovery flight. He was a kid that threw up in the fishing boat every time. I was like, oh God. But he's like, I love it. This is what I want to do. So that was good for him. So just take the first step. Private pilot, get to ground school, pass that test, okay? Yeah.
So adding on to the thing about the private pilot, because I got my pilot this past summer.
Great.
How beneficial would it be to continue on to, say, instrument or commercial?
Take it as much as you can. Sometimes when you get to flight school, if you are like advanced in the plane, sometimes you have bad habits, okay? It won't be the case for you for sure, but sometimes people come in with no experience whatsoever and they have no bad habits to break and they do great. But I think more experience is better. So just go all the way. If you're an instrument already, then check, okay? It doesn't help you get through flight school, military flight school faster, but it's just the experience base. You will be this much ahead of your peers in the same class. So yeah, which means you probably get the plane of your choice or the duty station of your choice. It's all competitive. You go to military flight school, if you're the #1 student, guess what? You're gonna be flying whatever you want, F-22 Raptors, or I wanna be stationed in Hawaii, okay? That always goes, needs of the service first, but you wanna be the top of the class. Yep, good, these are great questions. Go ahead.
I know you said you flew the F-18, but was there any plane that you wanted to fly and fly?
No, I love the F-18. Well, I wish I could have flown the A6 Intruder back in the day. That was an awesome plane, full, just like power and payload and just all that kind of stuff. But that's more of a Vietnam era. I did have one tour in the Super Hornet. So I was XO #2 in a Navy squadron, a training squadron. So I flew one tour with the Super Hornet. I thought that was a fantastic airplane. So yeah, I was a Hornet baby from wings to retirement. And now they're phasing out Legacy Hornet. So yeah, on to the next thing. Yep.
Did you ever get the chance to fly? Actually, like pilot command?
Well, the King Airs, yes, okay, and some of the F-18s do have a stick and throttle in the back, but what we had hand controllers for sensors, communications, and that thing as a backseater, a Wizzo. But down at the bottom, there was this, what we call the nub, where the stick would go, and when the pilot would push it around, you could see it moving down there. So every once in a while, if we had enough gas at the end of the day, we would do dogfighting, but it was backseater versus backseater. And you would reach down there and grab that nub, and you would come at each other like 1,000 miles an hour, and you'd grab the nub and go, like this, and you'd bend the plane around and see if you could steer and kill your buddy or get behind them, grabbing just that nub. I guess that was as good as it got for us, but yeah, we spent a lot of time in the simulators and those types of things. I have no regrets. I flew with hundreds of pilots. Most pilots only fly with one pilot themselves. Now, I saw so many different techniques, and I flew with experienced pilots, I flew with terrible pilots. Okay, I had pilots that try to kill me. I step into the plane with a pilot, I have 2,700 hours in the F-18, he has 2.7 hours. You talk about like trying to teach your son how to drive a car. God, ooh, I'm looking over like this, like, all the gray hair on my head. But that just came with the territory. But and no regrets. I had a chance to become a pilot. So laser surgery, midway through the career, they gave us the chance to go back through flight school and be a pilot. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm on a good track. So yeah, it's good. Who's worried about eyes out here? He's like, I don't have the eyes. My eyes were 2,200 before I had laser surgery, which was, at that time, horrific. This was pre-LASIK. Yeah, I won't tell you about it. It's terrible. But it's still good. All right, Andrew, you got a question, I think, right?
Just want to make sure nobody else here dove, and then the crowd, I can say, has a question. Because after that, that would be a good transition point to looking at it. I just want to make sure I'm not cutting anything else off.
Okay. I have like one more question,
Sure.
if that's okay. So over the summer, we went on a cruise, and we were like off the coast of Sardinia in Italy. And there's like these two F-18s. They probably fly like 100 feet away from our cruise.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and I was just wondering like what they could have been.
So flying low, first of all, you can only tie the record for the lowest flight ever, okay? Are you with me, Rag? Okay, so I had a Harrier miss the ground by 4 feet once as I was controlling him. But yeah, that's not good. But flying low has advantages of hiding from radars, okay? So coming in really low and fast, that type of thing. These are great. You guys owe me. I'll be here all night talking about this, okay? We got to order the pizzas or something. Okay, go ahead.
I have like two quick ones, but they're kind of technical. For one, did you, during any trainings or active like combat missions, ever use the G override paddle on the stick?
Yes, in fact, they featured this in the latest Top Gun movie. Not 1 in 1,000 people would pick up on that. Oh man! So, if you, there are so many things in this latest movie which I thought was fantastic. Like when he's got to pull 10 Gs. On the stick itself, there's a paddle switch that you would push here, and that's the G override. Usually with F-18, if you snatch the stick back to your lap, it's going to give you 7.5 Gs and not beyond it. But in case you need to go beyond it, you can do the G override and pull. They also did something called a split throttle rudder reversal. I don't know, I won't explain the aerodynamics of that, but they demoed that in the latest movie. I was like, man, they're not supposed to, that's the Hornet super maneuver. You're not supposed to tell about that stuff, right? But it was pretty fancy. I enjoyed this past movie. But yeah, the override switch. No, you don't want to pull that.
Yeah, that's everything. But also the second thing was, as a radar jammer, do you typically keep it in XMET or usually keep it on standby? And I know it uses the main radar. I always did it in the legacy one.
Depends. It depends. Depends if you need it or not. Yeah, it's good questions.
It's a great crowd, isn't it?
I know, I love it.
I'm not biased, but I think it's a great crowd.
I tell you, it really is. Yes, go ahead.
So if you're planning to go into the military and you know that you want to be a pilot, and like, since I have glasses, do they require you to get LASIK before you even like apply to go?
No, I think you need 20/20 correctable vision. Okay, so if you got 20/20 correctable, that's good enough to start flying. And so your bodies are all still changing. So, even at this stage, you're not a candidate for LASIK, I don't think. Has anybody had LASIK out there? Anybody? Yeah, it's because you have, okay. Yeah, your eyeballs and body are shifting still, but once that stops, then you're a good candidate for LASIK. And they'll correct you back to better than 20/20. It's the greatest thing the Navy ever did for me. So
yeah, to interject with that really quickly, if anybody really wants to nerd out on eye surgery stuff because it's so fun, I went to the eye doc and printed out some standards. I'm going to have like a bunch of paperwork right here going over literally every little thing. Oh, it's so fun. I love medical documentation in my career in my hands. It's great. But yeah, if you guys want to talk about that after, just let you know I have this resource out there. Great questions, by the way. I guess we can wrap up with 2 little short stories, and then we can go to the looking ahead slide. Can you tell everybody in the audience, from all of your experience, whether it was flying those King Airs or flying the F-18s, a scary, like, oh shit, I'm gonna die type story, and a funny story, both. We'd like to hear that.
I mean, I'm a cat with 9 lives, and there's only 4 of them left. So, yeah, I mean, I can't even think of one time. Like, flying is not hard, but it is very unforgiving of mistakes. I wrote articles about accidents we nearly had, and just, emergencies, you always prepare. Don't prepare for the flight, you prepare for the emergency, right? And that's what's going to keep you alive. Be hard to kill because you're so in depth with your platform or whatever it is. Yeah, you'll have a lifetime of stories to tell, no doubt. And so I can't narrow it down just to one. That's good. I threw these into a slide because I didn't know there would be so many great questions. And I'm not going to drill down into these in any types of depth, but these are like the hot topics of aviation. Unmanned is like the shiz dizzle. Everything is going unmanned. If it's flying, if it's on the surface of the ocean, if it's under the ocean, big ones, little ones, swarms of them. Deliveries of Amazon Air Prime and Walmart Zipline, okay? Unmanned is like, that is the fastest growth pattern, okay? If you can dive into that, you're gonna be sitting pretty well. Private versus government projects, okay? SpaceX, Blue Origin, it used to only be NASA and the government, but so many of these private industries that you know so well dive on board because that is the resurgence. That is what is driving our space program now, is not the government. The government is taking a back seat, okay? So ULA and all those things, I speak like I'm an authority on it, but I'm not. But the industries in the private sector and the space tourism has really taken over. So jump into that. Artificial intelligence. I tell you what, this is coming. Get on board with it. Don't be afraid of it. And in aviation, I really think this is like having 10,000 pilots worth of intelligence sitting right off your shoulder, okay? You're familiar with Six Sigma manufacturing, only one mistake in a million. This will take us to aviation Six Sigma risk levels and accident mitigation. You're gonna start pushing some buttons or taking action, and you're gonna have a voice come up in your head and say, David, I don't think you should push that button, okay, because that might lead to bad things. But having a third pilot in artificial intelligence in your cockpit, I believe, will make mistakes almost disappear, okay? I hope so. Vocational certifications are great. Simulation has come so far. Back in the F-18 land, only about 20% of our training was in a simulator. F-35, welcome to today, 65 or more % of your training flights in flight school are in a simulator, mostly because you can't go out and do this because it's secret. But so much, simulation has become so good that you'll do so much more of your training sitting in a simulator instead of going out and burning up fuel to do it. And that's pretty much it. Let's go to the next slide and we'll wrap it up. Okay. It's been my great pleasure to be here. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. If you've got personal questions, I know a little bit about the commercial military routes still. Happy to stay here as long as you want to chat about those things. But maintain the fire that you have. That is what's going to get you to the finish line. There are many roads to the same house.